of today's the first Monday of the month. So we are going to our lecture here in the Chico Xavier Learning Center. It's in English, so welcome everyone that is listen to us for the first time, and for the ones who are always here. It's a pleasure to have you here again. Our lecture of the day will be the chapter 50 from the book Living Spring, Chico Xavier in Emmanuel, which title it's called Let Us Move Forward. Okay, so we will soon get there, but before we start, just reminding all of you of who we are. We are the Chico Xavier Portland Learning Center in Portland, Oregon. And as you can see there, our weekly calendar. So we have activities on Mondays from 6:30 to 7:30. It's our gospel study and the Spirit's book study. We have this lecture at 7:30 to 8. As I mentioned, first Monday of the month is in English. The other days are Portuguese. Then we have the Tuesday, where we do study mediumship in different times of the day. And at the end of the day, we have the study of a book. The Tuesday is mostly in Portuguese. And Sundays, we have the youth group. Now we have two cohorts, one 9:30 for the 2 to 6, and the 10:15 to 11, the 7 to 12 years old. So come and join us, and everything that you see here is updated in our social media. We are also a community that depend on donation. So in our social media, you'll find how to donate and to help us spreading the Spiritism here in the States. Okay, so let's start. I invite everyone to close your eyes and relax your body. Relax your body, relax your mind, trying to disconnect your mind for the day that you had, the things that are outside, the things that are in the past, the things are in the future, and concentrate and focus on the present. Pay attention to your breathing a couple of times. Elevate your thoughts to God, our Father, connecting our heart with Jesus, our older brother, and inviting all the intuition, all the insights, thoughts that will come your way today as we go through the lecture. And also, let's thank for the opportunity. Let's be grateful to be here. We know that the spirits, our mentors, our guides are already here with us and will definitely be with us during this next 30 minutes. We ask permission to start, and wishing all of us moments of reflection, of peace and love. Okay, so as I mentioned, we will be focusing today on the chapter 50 of the Living Spring book. And the passage of the Bible that Emmanuel uses as inspiration for the for the chapter is the following. It's Philippians 3, verse 13 and 14. Let us move forward, brothers and sisters. I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining forward what is ahead. It's what Paul says. Right? So if we look at what Paul was trying to say and to whom he was writing to at this part of the Bible, he was writing to the citizens of the city of Philip, and he's really sharing a little bit of his own experience. And as we know, Paul has been so in the past, right? So Paul has been persecuting Jews, Catholics, Christians. He has been really against Jesus and his followers. So he had a tough past, right? So he executed, he sent people to death penalty. So he really was an enemy of the Christians. And even if with this, between brackets, dark past in his life, he's recommending, right, the Christian community at Philippi at the time to really move forward, forgetting what is behind, and really straining towards the future, towards what's coming. So this is kind of the context to which Emmanuel will develop the chapter. So let's read the chapter together, and then we will be breaking it in parts and digesting a little bit together. So he says, on the Christian path, we always find a large number of brothers who remain down in the shadows of unproductiveness, declaring themselves injured by dispirited disasters. So within the Christian path, we still have people stuck in the shadows of spiritual disasters. And then he gives some examples. If it is someone who mourns the loss of a dear relative, called for the transformation of the tomb. It is a worker who felt lacerated by the incomprehension of a friend. It's a missionary who has immobilized before the slander. It is someone who regrets a friend who has deserted the good fight. It is the servant of good works who cries indefinitely for the abandonment of his wife, who did not notice his affectionate dedication. It is the idealist who waits for the material fortune to begin the achievements that fall to him. It is the cooperator who remains in expectation of employment richly paid to consecrate himself to the good work. It is a woman who walks into the complication of the complaints against uncomprehending relatives. It is a collaborator who feels scandalized by the defects of the neighbor, freezing the possibilities of serving. It is the one who deplores a wrong done, despising the blessing of the time in destructive remorse. However, in the past, preserves the virtues of experience, seldom is the best driver for the future life, right? So again, being having all those feelings that as he described in the sentences above, it's rarely, it's seldom the best drive for the future. It's imperative to exhume the heart of all numbing wraps, which sometimes intrudes our soul. The religion is longing and hope and scruple are sacred, but they should not represent an impediment to access the upper sphere. And then he finishes with saying again, remembering the message from Paul of Tarsus, who had known terrible aspects of the human striving in the intimacy of his heart, and who rose to the culmination of the apostolate of Christ, offers us a safe route to the spiritual improvement, which is really forgetting what lies behind and straining towards what is ahead. This is the essence of his fraternal warning to the community of Philip. Let us focus our energy on Jesus and move forward. No one progress without renewing himself. So the text, it's a bit heavy in terms of understanding, right? He brings a lot of examples. And then, as I mentioned, I will break down a little bit for us to understand. But when he says, when he starts on the path of Christian, we always find a large number of people who remain down in the shadows, right? Of unproductivity, of traumas, of stagnation, of inertia. People get frozen in the past and they get stuck in their spiritual disasters, right? So as we can see in the pictures here, right? It happens and it happened to all of us, right? Not only to the Philippians, and a lot of times, and most of the times, to be honest, we get stuck there, right? We got stuck because we lost someone, because we feel betrayed by a friend, that we feel that we are not comprehended by our relatives. We stuck in a moment in the past because we lost someone, and then we cannot move on theoretically without that person. And one of the hardest challenges of humanity is really to let it go, let the past go, right? And to have faith really to in the future on what will come. We tend to get stuck in things that we know, right? In our comfort zone. And even though a trauma, it's usually hard, many of times it's comforting, right? It's because we know how to deal with that. A lot of times the future, it's what it scares us mostly, right? And we get stuck there because somehow we're benefiting to it, right? It's a comfort zone and we don't move ahead, right? And then we have shared here a lot of times that all of these feelings, no, that Emmanuel brings there, a loss of relative, incomprehension, slander, so on and so forth, it hurts, right? It's a pain. I mean, we are not neglecting. We don't want to put kind of to really let go. We know that we all gone through that. But what we are challenging here, and what Paul is, Emmanuel is challenging, what Paul is challenging, is to get stuck in the suffering, right? The pain is there, the trauma happened. So what's my attitude? Do I stay there, right? Or do I move ahead? And then I was thinking on the example of the running water, right? If we think that water in a pond, that it doesn't flow, it gets stagnated, right? So the energy, I want to do kind of this comparison. The energy that when we get stuck in the past, on a story or in a moment or in a person of our lives, it's like a stagnant water, right? It doesn't flow, it stinks, right? It brings insects, mosquitoes. Uh, it's no longer drinkable, right? And then once the water starts flowing, right, and moving ahead, even with all the rocks in the way, uh, the water is a source of life, right? So the first reflection is, do we want our lives to be uh, a waterfall or really a pond, right? A small pond. So the first reflection that I'd like to leave to you, to all of you listening to us today. Do we want to move forward or do we want to look at the past? And then he brings this idea of peeling the layers of the onion, no, peeling the layers of our suffering or our pain, I would say so, and really understand what is wrapping us, what is getting us stuck there. No? And in order to do that, we really need to deep dive in ourselves, right? Of course, a lot of things help, right? Religious, hope, faith, our values. But we should aim really kind of our inner reform and getting up to the upper sphere, and how we get there, how we peel the onion. We all know, right? It's by getting to know ourselves. It's on transforming ourselves. It's on dedicating time to self-awareness, um, and religion and faith, and believing and studying as we are here. It brings hope. Once I know myself, right, and I know where to go, it's this path that in the case the spiritisms bring, are the initial steps for us to start moving forward. And most of us are here in this journey for that. It's a mix of the inner transformation, the inner awareness, with also a discovery of a path to go, to believe, and to serve. If we could go to the message that Paul brings again, right, and reflecting what he brings here, right? So he invites the Philippians, he invites us to new beginnings, right? New possibilities, to look, on, to focus on the future, to look at the future, to walk. We always say here that it start the movement, and the path will open. Sometimes we don't know where to go, but what requires is just a little start, a little spark of energy, that the path will open for us, right? The past is behind, and we know that the law of one of the divine laws, the law of progress, pushes us, right, to progress, pushes us to the future, right, to new beginnings, to new possibilities. So it's hard to forget the past. Sometimes forget and forgive, right? Because sometimes we don't forget because we don't forgive. So we will talk about that a little bit in the next slide. But luckily, right, in this life, and the gift of reincarnation also brings new possibilities and new beginnings all the time. If not in this life, it will be in the next one. But the invitation is in this life, right? You can start over again. And we know that, I mean, God is so perfect when God created everything that he gave us the, oh, he, she, they gave us the blessing of the forgetting our past lives, right? We don't remember who we were in our first life. And this, I truly believe that it's really one of the reasons that he wants us to start all over. We all, in the Spiritism movement, we believe, right, in reincarnation, and we know that we don't remember who we were, what we did in the past. And this is a gift from God, right? Because this is already the message. He doesn't want us to get stuck there. He doesn't want us to be in our past life or in this life living the past. He really wants us to restart, and there is always a second, a third, a fourth chance, right? So there's always a new beginning, there is always a new encounter, there is not always a new learning, there's always a new relationship that will take our waterfall, right, to a different place. And there will be rocks along the way, right? But then we have Jesus. If you could move to the next slide, Anna. And we have our example, right? Our live example, our our mentor, our coach, our guide, who came here and who taught us the way, right? Uh, he he promises us, right, that if we follow him, if we follow his footsteps, if we follow his gospel, we have the path, right? So our waterfall knows where to go as long as Jesus is our kind of guide and a spiritual mentor. So the target, the goal, the path, we know. We know that the example that he gave, the law of love, justice, charity, everything that comes with the Jesus teachings. And then I like this. I brought this picture of the passage of the woman that was taken in adultery, because uh, Jesus did not judge her, right? He did not look at her past. He knew what she had done, right? But he really embraced her. He really accepted by who she is. And to her, he clearly said, right, I don't condemn you. Go and sin no more, right? So this is the sin no more. It's what besides not the forgiveness, it's the sin no more. It's the message that Jesus was sharing with everyone, right? So I came here. I'm leading the way. If you follow my footsteps, you will not be in sin, right? And you will definitely transform yourself. The self-transformation, the self-libertation, right? It's peel the skin of the onions. It's really why Jesus came here for. It's I like to call kind of this self-liberation. And we do that, right, by learning and understanding ourselves, by envision the future, and also forgiving ourselves and forgiving others, right? And we know that I want to finish with this message of of forgiveness, and I want you to take home this reflection with you. What are the moments from your past that you still carry on because you did not forgive yourself, you did not forgive yourself, or you didn't forgive others, right? And we know that forgiveness is not a liberation of the other person. It's a self-liberation. So if we could go home today with the message of uh, forgiveness and self-liberation from whatever we have been in the past, or have done in the past, or have suffered in the past, is it's really what I take from this study, and what I would like you to take home. Okay. So now let's prepare for the virtual pass, which is a moment that we will receive all the energy and the love and the fluids that we need, each one of us need from the spiritual realm. And at this moment in time, sit straight forward in your chair, or if you're at home, if you're laying in your bed, wherever you are, uh, have your hands laying either on your laps or alongside your body, and take a deep breath. And look at the sun rising from the ocean, right? Starting a new day. The sun never disappoints us. He's there every day, starting a new day, right? For each one of us on earth. Even if the day is overcast, the sun is there. Somehow sharing its energy, sharing its light, sharing its energy with all of us. And may this energy coming from the sun warm our bodies from head to toe, fulfilling every single cell and healing every single cell and forgiving every single cell, every single thought, every single moment that somehow doesn't help us to move forward. And each one of us offer whatever is stuck there in the bottom of our hearts. We offer back to the universe. We offer to Jesus. We offer to God. They know what we learned with that and what that moment meant in our lives. Now we live with them. we don't carry it with us any longer. In our heart, we only carry this light, the light of the sun, which spreads to the place you're sitting right now, to the city you are in right now, to your home, to your family, to the water that you have next to you, to all the different countries and continents in this beloved planet Earth. And may God bless us, help us, our inner reform, help us with new beginnings, giving us courage to new possibilities. May all of us be blessed, and may all of us have a peaceful and lovely week. Yippee. Thank you.